everybody. I'm feeling a little better today. My name is Chloe. If you're new, please hit the subscribe button below. All that fancy stuff. If you follow YouTubers, you know the whole spiel. Welcome to my channel. Today we have a lot to talk about with our 15th president. Not as much as what the next president is going to be. But today's president is James Buchanan. He was our 15th president, served from 1857 to 1861, and his vice president was John Breckenridge. So here's a picture of James Buchanan. A little bit older gentleman there. Okay, so there were three events that happened prior to them getting into the dates. So the first one was the Republicans gained control of the Congress, both in the House and the Senate. The silver strike in Nevada, Comstock lode discovered, not sure what that means. First major U.S. silver strike and the richest silver deposit. And Virginia City becomes a boomtown. Well, if anybody knows about Virginia City, it is a ghost town these days. So apparently it was known for its silver, not its gold. And the Lincoln-Douglas debates. Stephen Douglas tries to reconcile the popular sovereignty with the Dred Scott decision, which I talk about here. Abraham Lincoln denounces the Dred Scott decision and secures a national reputation as an anti-slavery spokesman. So let's get into what happened during James Buchanan's time in office. March 4th, 1857, Buchanan was inaugurated. He was a Democrat from Pennsylvania, previously Secretary of State for President Polk and Minister to Britain and Russia. March 6th, 1857, the Dred Scott decision. Supreme Court Chief Justice Roger B. Taney finds blacks are not citizens. Slavery can't be prohibited in territories. 1820, Missouri Compromise is found to be unconstitutional. September 7th, 1857, the Mountain Meadow Massacre. It takes place in Utah. 140 people were killed. The Paiute Indians, P-A-I-U-T-E, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right, so forgive me if I'm not. And the Mormon militia I wrote this down yesterday, so incited by John D. Lee, kills immigrants heading to California. October 5th, 1857, Kansas elects a free state legislature under the governor Robert J. Walker. December 21st, 1857, Kansas holds a referendum on Lecompton Constitution, hoping to bring Kansas into the Union as a slave state. Stephen Douglas and the North Democrats refuse admittance. When I write these things down, I am just writing furiously to try and get it all on the paper. So forgive me for not knowing what I'm writing or reading. November 4th, 1858, the Lecompton Constitution was defeated, 10,226 against and 138 for. March 23rd, 1858, Congress votes on admitting Kansas. Senate votes to accept Kansas. House votes to resubmit the Constitution. So we're still fighting over Kansas. May 4th, 1858, English bill passed. Congress passes after Representative William Hayden English, that's his full name, William Hayden English, a Democrat from Indiana, strikes compromise to admit Kansas. May 11th, 1858, Minnesota joins the Union. Woohoo! 32nd and a free state. August 2nd, 1858, Lecompton Constitution defeated for the third time. Kansas finally enters as a non-slaveholding state in 1861, so we'll get to that. February 14th, 1859, Oregon joins the Union, 33rd state. Didn't say if it was free or slave, but I'm presuming since it was in the North, it was a free state. March 12th, 1859, Southern Commercial Conventions. And no, I was not, I'm trying to think of the line before I run out of time here. I was voted for the Constitutional Convention. Okay, sorry, that was for Star Shadow. You need to stop laughing. Okay, last convention held in Wyandotte, Kansas. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. Clarina Nichols was the only woman present, and she pushes for the inclusion of 3 sections involving women's rights. October 4th, 1859, the Kansas Constitution was ratified. October 16th, 1859, Harper's Ferry raid. John Brown raids Harper's Ferry, Virginia. It's now considered West Virginia, with 20 men, 5 of them being black, trying to establish abolitionist republic and the Appalachians. Brown was captured and hanged in Charlestown, Virginia on December 2nd for murder, conspiracy, and treason. February 7th, 1860, Cooper Union Address. Abraham Lincoln delivers the address at Cooper Union in New York. The speech was printed in the New York Tribune, and it gives him a lead to be a Republican president nominee. April 23rd, 1860, the Democratic Convention, led by Stephen Douglas, meets in Charleston, South Carolina. The South and the North failed to agree on slavery, so there were no nominations at that time. People from Georgia, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Delaware walk out. I don't know why Delaware, because that's in the North, but whatever. May 9th, 1860, Constitutional Union Party nominates Bell, John Bell, as president, and Edward Everett as vice president. May 18th, 1860, Republicans nominate Abraham Lincoln. The Republican National Convention in Chicago, they nominate Abraham Lincoln as president and Hamlin as vice president, not Hannibal Lecter. That would be disgusting. June 18th, 1860, the Democrats nominate Douglas. So they meet in Baltimore. Stephen Douglas, they nominate Stephen Douglas as president and Herschel Johnson for vice president. So they finally came to an agreement. June 28th, 1860, the Southern Democrats nominate John C. Breckenridge as president and Joseph Lane as vice president. November 6, 1860, Abraham Lincoln wins the election. Abraham Lincoln had 180, this is the electoral votes. Lincoln had 180, Breckenridge had 72, Bell had 39, and Douglas had 12 in the electoral votes. December 18th, 1860, the Crittenden Compromise. And no, this has nothing to do with Casper. John Crittenden, Kentucky senator, proposes the Constitution amendments to extend the Missouri Compromise line across the country, and Lincoln opposes it. December 20th, 1860, South Carolina cedes from the Union. This is where everything starts going to hell in a handbasket. January 8th, 1861, Buchanan's final message to Congress. All right, so January, a lot happened. January 9th, 1861, Missouri cedes from the Union. January 10th, 1861, Florida cedes from the Union, which means that they separate. January 11th, 1861, Alabama cedes from the Union, secedes, I should say. January 19th, 1861, Georgia secedes from the Union. January 26th, 1861, Louisiana secedes from the Union. January 29th, 1861, Kansas joins the Union. And so there it becomes the 34th and a free state. So finally, Kansas is part of the United States, or the Union, whatever. February 4th, 1861, the Confederacy was formed in Montgomery, Alabama, from 7 seceded states. On February 7th, it adopts a provisional constitution. On February 9th, 1861, Davis is elected the Confederate president. Jefferson Davis was the Confederate president, and Alexander Stephens was the vice president. So at this point, now we've got the North against the South, the Confederates against the Union. So the Union has one president, which is Buchanan, and now the South, the Union, has Jefferson Davis as their president, and Alexander Stephens is their vice president. So this is where everything starts going towards Civil War. February 18th, 1861, Davis is inaugurated. The capital of Confederacy moves later from Montgomery, Alabama to Richmond, Virginia. February 23rd, 1861, Texas secedes from the Union. March 2nd, 1861, territories of Nevada and Dakota are formed. Nevada is part of the Utah Territory, and Dakota is part of the Northeast Territory. So it doesn't, I'm guessing Dakota was like one state, if you will. It wasn't separated north and south, because it didn't say that. March 4th, 1861, the Confederate flag was created. It was called the Stars and Bars, excuse me. It contains 7 stars and 3 stripes. After the Battle of Bull Run, the Union and Confederate flags were getting confused, resulting in a new Confederate flag with a red field, blue cross of St. Andrew, and 13 stars. And then March 4th, 1861, Lincoln was inaugurated. Lincoln, I'm sure I'm going to have to do at least 2 videos for him, because I read through everything that he did. Wow! I mean, I've been building up to this moment, but that's going to take a while. So I may not have Lincoln uploaded tomorrow. It might be another day or two, because I have to write all this stuff down, and it's already late in the day today. So I'm not sure when I'm going to put Abraham Lincoln's video out, but we all know a lot about Abraham Lincoln. And like I said, this is not going to through his childhood and, you know, what happened during that time. It's just when he's in office. So, just like with George Washington, I didn't talk about the cherry tree and the wooden teeth and I cannot tell a lie and stuff like that. It's just while these presidents are in office, what happened during their presidency. So, if you want any backstory about it, you'll have to do the research yourself. Because I'm not getting into that in these videos. So, for those of you that are wondering, I am doing a little bit better. The pain is pretty much gone. The pain was like right up in here. Like I said, it wasn't COVID or anything, and I'm glad that when I went back to rewatch, you didn't see the bruise on my arm from when they were taking blood from my arm. It's really nasty looking, so I don't want to do that to you. So again, I thank you guys for joining me with these presidential highlights. Thank you for joining me. I'm hoping that you guys are learning something new about all of our presidents, famous ones and not so famous ones, short-term ones, long-term ones. So we're starting to inch more towards the 20th century here, into more modern times here, because we're already into the 1860s, I believe. Yep. So we're getting into the 1860s now, getting into the Civil War for the next one, the abolishment or the emancipation of slaveries and or the slaves and that. Like I said, we all know a lot about Lincoln, but maybe some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you is going to be new. Maybe you don't know some of it. So, in any case, I wish you guys all a Happy New Year. I know it's not for a few days yet, but maybe by the time you're watching this, it will have been past that time. Because I notice I only have one person really watching my videos, and that's Star Shadow. But hopefully after the new year and after the holidays and stuff and things start settling down, maybe I'll get more views. So, like the videos, share them with anybody who might be interested in presidential facts and stuff. And so I'm going to go ahead and let you guys go. You guys have a sunny day. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Class is dismissed. Have a sunny day.